friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my top 5 most disappointing books that I read in the year of 2017. I am planning on doing my top 5 favorite books that I read in the year 2017, and I also am planning on doing my top 5 least favorite books of 2017. Now, the reason why I called this most disappointing is because I actually enjoyed these books, but for some reason or another I didn't love these books. They were just books that were either really hyped up or really praised, and I was expecting to give these books 5 stars, to really love it and gush over these books, but it ended up not. All of these books are rated either 3 stars or 3.5 stars. They were just okay, and I was actually really disappointed that I ended up not loving these books. So I have 5 to share with you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first book on this list is Caravelle by Stephanie Garber. So I was expecting to really love this book. It was so hyped up when it first came out. A lot of people were comparing it to The Night Circus, and a lot of people were just saying great things about this book, and I read it and it definitely is not The Night Circus. While the book and the story is great, I don't think it's anything special. The characters were not very memorable. The love interest was not very memorable at all. I feel like I've read the love interest many thousand times before, and the plot line was cool, but again, not very memorable. I have read this book less than a year ago, and I remember absolutely nothing about what happened. I remember finishing this book and just being like, you know, I gave this book 3.5 stars because there were some aspects that I really enjoyed, but otherwise this book is just very average, and it was very disappointing because I was expecting great things from this story. Alright, so the next book on this list is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. This book was so hyped up when it first came out, but just like Caravelle, I had high expectations going into this book, and it just left me very disappointed because I didn't end up loving this book. I liked it. I gave this book 3 stars, but it just wasn't, again, just like Caravelle, not very memorable. The main character is very kick-ass. She's a very strong, kick-ass female character, but other than that, this story is very average. I was expecting to be blown away by this book. It just didn't happen. I don't know if it has maybe something to do with it being Renee Ahdieh, because I have read her other books and I just didn't love the other books either. She has beautiful writing. I just don't connect with her stories. Like I didn't connect to the main character. I don't feel like the love interest was anything interesting. The plot line was a little bit more entertaining, but again, nothing memorable. Honestly, I am not entirely sure I'm going to be picking up the next book. And the next book on this list is probably one of my biggest disappointments of the year 2017, and it is Once and For All by Sarah Dessen. So in case I don't mention it enough on my channel, Sarah Dessen is my favorite YA contemporary author. I don't read a lot of YA contemporary. I don't read a lot of contemporaries, period. However, when Sarah Dessen releases a book, I always buy it and I always read it because I love her writing style, and I love her characters, and I love her books, and pretty much like 99% of her books I absolutely loved, but this one was a disappointing. I think maybe just my expectations were so high, but then again, it is Sarah Dessen. I always tend to love the books that she releases, but I was just disappointed in this book. I loved the wedding planner aspect of the story, but otherwise I didn't really connect with the story. I liked the main character and I definitely connected with her, but I thought that the love interest was really annoying, and then the story itself, I just didn't connect to it. I thought that this book just lacked that special something that every other Sarah Dessen book tends to have. I gave this book 3.5 stars, and I was honestly expecting to give this book 5 stars. Alright, and then the next book that was just such a disappointing read for me is a book that really took me by surprise by the fact that I didn't love it, and it is Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. This is a collection of short stories based on the Lunar Chronicles series, and yeah, I don't remember almost any of the stories except for the last one. I thought that these stories, while entertaining, they were just really pointless and unnecessary, and I just feel like I wasted my time reading these books because it just, honestly, the stories, except for the last one, really didn't add anything to the original Lunar Chronicles series. They were things that were mentioned in the stories, but then she wrote out a full scene for that part that was mentioned in the original stories, and I just feel like it didn't really add anything special to the original stories. And if I honestly didn't read any of these stories except for the last one, I would have been fine. So this was definitely a disappointing read. I gave this book 3.5 stars, and it honestly breaks my heart at the fact that I didn't love these stories because I love the Lunar Chronicles series. It is such a great series. Alright, and then the last book on this list is a first book in a series that I really loved, and I'm glad that I went on with the series, because if I were to just base it off of this first book, I never would have kept going because it was just such a disappointing read. And it is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the first book, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I don't know what it is about this book because I loved the other 4 books. The final 4 books, all of them have gotten at least 4 stars, and I just love the rest of the book. But this one was just very disappointing. I thought Percy Jackson was super annoying, and I just didn't like him, and honestly I feel like that's the only reason why this book ended up being so disappointing, because I just didn't connect with Percy Jackson. I didn't care about what happened to him. Honestly, I'm glad I went on with the rest of the series. Maybe because this book was so disappointing, it set my expectations low for the rest of the series, and that's maybe why I love the rest of the series so much. But the rest of the series is really good, and I always say this on every single one of my videos when I mention Percy Jackson, is that if you read the first book and you didn't like it, and that's the reason why you haven't kept going with the rest of the series, I will highly recommend picking up the second book and the third book and all of the other books, because the rest of the books are so much better than the first book, and the rest of the series is such a huge improvement from this. Alright guys, so that was all for my most disappointing reads of 2017. For all of these books, I did enjoy them, I just didn't love them, and that's why they were such huge disappointments, because I really expected to love all of these books. Let me know down in the comments below what was your most disappointing read of 2017, because I would really love to know. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys, and keep reading. Bye!